Cambodia is located in the southeast area of Asia and is slightly smaller than Oklahoma. It is surrounded by Thailand, Vietnam, and Laos. The terrain is mostly low flat plains with mountains in the northwest and north. The climate is tropical and rainy with little seasonal temperature variation. Cambodia is very vulnerable to floods and occasional droughts due to its low terrain. Also, they are around a lot of water. Fishing plays a big role in their economy, diet, and farmers' daily lives. The type of government Cambodia has is a multi-party democracy under a constitutional monarchy. Their capital is Phnom Penh, the center of the nation's economic and industrial activities along with security, politics, cultural heritage, and more. The chief of state is currently King Norodom Sihanouk, who's been ruling since the 29th of October 2004. Cambodia, being just recently introduced into democracy, has slowly begun to rebuild itself after the fall of Khmer Rouge. Vietnam helped build their government to be pro-Vietnam until recently, and Cambodia is still struggling with power corruption. The officials are still prone to things such as bribery and other things of the sort. Cambodia's natural resources consist of oil, gas, timber, gemstones, iron ore, manganese, and phosphate. They also have the potential to have hydropower. Cambodia's natural resources play a big part in their economy, especially oil and gas. They have such abundant supplies of oil that companies like Chevron signed agreements spending $7 to $8 million on drilling oil wells. If all goes well, it is predicted that Cambodia's GDP could increase fivefold by 2030. An amazingly historic site in Cambodia is Angkor Wat. It is one of the most important archaeological sites in all of Southeast Asia and something the Khmer people hold pride to. It stretches over 400 kilometers squared and holds the remains of the Khmer Empire from the 9th to 15th century. Angkor Wat is a temple that has compelling and interesting culture, religion, and symbols. Poverty in Cambodia has been a big problem for the Khmer people even after the fall of Khmer Rouge and the Vietnamese pulling out of the country. With Cambodia being a newly declared independent country, they struggle with rural poverty, economic growth, and corruption in the government. Their poverty mostly resulting in their high population growth, inequitable opportunities, low capabilities, insecurities, exclusion, and vulnerability. As mentioned before, Khmer Rouge, also known as the Communist Party of Kampuchea, were a group of communists who wanted to change Cambodia. Their leader was Pol Pot, and they only recently fell in 1979, as they began their control in 1975. During their rule, it is estimated to be up to 2.5 million Khmer lives lost. Entire families were executed, some died from starvation, disease, and overworking themselves. Though their rule was during the mid to late 1970s, their roots run deep into the 1960s. Khmer Rouge's goal was to reform Cambodia into a communist country. They took over Cambodia and forced all those who lived in cities to move out to rural areas and become farmers. For almost 4 years, the Khmer Rouge had control over Cambodia, ruling over millions of people. During the time, many Cambodians tried to escape, risking the chance of getting caught and killed on the spot. In 1977, a lowly member of Khmer Rouge had slipped past the border into Vietnam and told the Vietnamese government valuable information. Vietnam then began to plan a counterattack because Khmer Rouge had massacred people many times on their territory. They overtook Cambodia after destroying Phnom Penh and drove out the Khmer Rouge, only to install themselves as leaders as a puppet government. The Vietnamese set up a pro-Vietnam government in Cambodia. Before 1863, Cambodia was mainly just a vassal for either Thai or Vietnamese governments. King Norodom signed a protection treaty with France, wanting to stop the outsiders from overcoming Cambodia over and over again. The French helped guard the Cambodian borders in the east. At the end of World War II, French tried to regain their territories, but Cambodia was able to declare their independence in 1953, thus ending the treaty. One of the things that led Cambodia into poverty is the recent land grabbings that's been happening to the rural Khmers. The Cambodian government has been signing off land to investors and have grown more violent with how they do things. Recently, a 14-year-old girl was shot and killed during forcible eviction. Also, 13 women were sentenced to around 2.5 years in prison for protesting on land which the government had taken from them. This is a political and social problem as both the government and citizens are affected. Malnutrition is also a major cause of poverty, as well as an outcome. It leads to economic losses and family deaths. As a widespread problem in Cambodia, it affects kids 6 to 59 months of age as well as 20% of women. As people become ill and unable to work, the economy goes down, causing problems in itself. Another cause for their poverty is lack of education. Poverty rates are higher for households which the heads have little to no education. The poor have low education enrollment and is suggested that it will be passed down to the next generation. This is another economic and social problem as education paves the way for more opportunities and provides more knowledge to the people. At the moment, Cambodia needs the support from other countries as they slowly progress into a stable country. Cambodia is currently heavily relying on foreign help but is progressively coming out of poverty. The poverty rate in 2004 to 2011 had dropped so dramatically, the World Bank said that they had surpassed all expectations. The rate has dropped from 52.2% to 20.5%. Cambodia's economy is also growing. It was a rapid growth at 8 cents per year but slowed at the economic downturn in 2008 to 2009. However, they soon picked up again. After the downfall, they reached a 4-year high of 7.3% in 2012 and was expected to grow 7% due to its strong exports, private investments, and agriculture. There are many programs out there that help Cambodia with many of the things they're struggling with, such as education and malnutrition. These programs are from numerous places on the globe and offers different types of support and guidance. There are over 250 projects and organizations for Cambodia. They range from food to education to environmental things. Some foundations, like Caring for Cambodia, feeds almost 3,000 students every morning. And another group called Food for Thought helps educate adults about health and nutrition. Although Cambodia is slowly getting better, it is still a long way from the finish line. They need all the help they can get through donations and volunteer work from foreign countries. Whether it's cleaning their water or feeding and educating the citizens, even giving help to those victimized by power corruption, they need all the help and support they can get.